Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamityam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. We are celebrating the Sri Ramakrishna Janmatithi Puja. So, from different angles, we are discussing about the Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna's first instruction was that each and every human being must realize God. And then he himself said that God comes in the form of human beings. So we have already discussed, can man become God? Can God become man? And from the Vedantic point of view, we have discussed that when the man and the God both actually are the part and parcel of the same thing, that is consciousness. This is all appearances are apparent, but it is so very real to us. So as long as we believe that this is real, we must have to follow the system. Otherwise, simply thinking that, oh, this is unreal, this is all imaginary, this is all Chayabat, as I was telling, quoting the Upanishad, Prasna Upanishad, is just like a shadow. But when I pinch, I feel pain. I can feel that, no, it is pinching. So obviously, this is totally different. Now, a same person can become man, also a God. So human being and also God. That happened in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. When he was a very young kid, a small boy, he used to roam around in the neighborhood. One person was there, a very ordinary person. Not that he was having any spiritual practices, I don't know. But he used to sell only the bangles made of conches. His name was Chinu, as because he used to sell that the bangles made of conches, they used to tell him the Shakari, Chinu Shakari. So that was his name, Chinu Shakari. Chinu Shakari, he used to take that young boy in some secluded place and he used to feed him. He used to put the garland and sometimes he used to say, Gadai, his name was Gadadhar, so Gadai, I don't think you are human, you are God. I don't know why, but I feel like that you are God. And then sometimes he used to say, now people don't understand, but when they will understand it in future, I won't be there. Please remember that I am the first person to recognize you as God. This Chinu Shakari used to feel like that. We know that this God, as we were discussing in the last discourse, the God is coming, Avataran, he is coming down out of his own free will. Sri Ramakrishna's father went to a very famous place, that's a Hindu pilgrimage center, and most of the Hindu, they long to go over there. It's called Gaya. The place is known as Gaya, Gaya Dham. This is the place for the Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is there. Vishnu's Pada Padma, I went and I saw There is another black stone is there. Over that, the two really wonderful, the impressions of the feet is there. If you pour white milk, immediately you can see. Otherwise, it's very difficult to find out. The Gaya, the people, they believe that it is the place of the Vishnu. His father went over there. He was a devotee of Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra is an incarnation of Vishnu. So his father went over there. And there he found that in a dream, that Lord is telling, I want to come as your son. So obviously, the Lord Vishnu is requesting a human, the father of the afterwards of Sri Ramakrishna. Khudiram Chattopadhyay was his name. So Khudiram Chattopadhyay, Lord Vishnu was requesting, I want to become your son, and he was refusing. No, sir, it is not possible because I am a poor Brahmin. I won't be able to maintain you properly. No, I will come. So he is coming. He is choosing that particular person because he was very, very honest and pure. We know, those who have read the biography, he never said even whole life, he never said a lie. And then nearby, the landlord, he was forcing him that you must say a lie in my favor so that I can win a litigation. As because all people knew that he always say the truth, one lie if you tell in my favor, I will win the litigation, I will give a lot of money. And if you don't do that, if you don't help me, then I will take away whatever you are having. So he told, it is impossible, I will never tell the lies. That was the person. Then naturally he was forced out of his own property. He was having so much of property, land, paddy field and all. They took away all forcefully. He had to come out without anything. Only thing that he was carrying, the stone image of Ram Lala, that much. But even then he didn't tell the lies. So God, Lord Vishnu chose him to become his father. Almost the same time, his mother, who was standing in the village, now that place is also there, and the Dere village. The village is named Dere. It is not very far from Kamarpukur. Still that village is there. Still that property is there. And some of our devotees, they have already purchased it and now protecting. Many of the devotees from all over the world, they go to visit that place, the Dere village. And from there, he came and he was staying in the Kamarpukur. In the Kamarpukur, there was a very small Shiva temple. Still the temple is there. This is all history. This is called Jogi's Shiva temple. His mother was standing just in front of the temple and she was talking with a friend. Suddenly, she felt as if a wave of light is coming out from that Shiva temple. If you go, very simple, very humble temple is still there, maintained by the Ramakrishna mission nowadays. But she saw and she felt, and she afterwards told her very close friend that I feel that Shiva's power, that light has entered into me and I feel I am conceived. So that Shiva is also coming and the Vishnu is coming. So that way, when we look at, that is really very interesting. As we were discussing in the morning, the God is coming out of his own will, but the human being is forced to come because of the result of his work. And God chose this, became the Sri Ramakrishna, and he was growing up. People were wondering whether he is God or is a human being. His memory, photogenic memory, whatever he heard, whatever he saw, he used to remember. He used to go to different villages to attend some of the functions. He used to come back, the young boy of 7 or 8 years old used to come back, and all the village ladies, they used to sit around him and say, Godai, please repeat those things. He used to repeat verbatim. Whatever they said, whatever their conversation went, and the music and the tune that they used, everything verbatim used to tell like that. It's so human, but sometimes godly manifestation. It is said that one day the village ladies, they were going to pour water to a little distance from that Kamar Pukur. That's called Vishal Akshi. Vishal Akshi means the eyes. The Vishal Akshi, that is Goddess Durga. In fact, it is just a big stone. It was lying under a tree in the open, nothing was there. The villagers used to go believing that is the Goddess Durga, and they used to give different sweets, sometimes the fruits, and the nearby urchins, they used to come and pick up those and they used to eat. Even then, if you go, they were all coming and taking those, whatever you offer. When he was going, along with all the ladies, that is the children, they always like to go along with their mother and the aunties. Suddenly, he noticed that all the ladies are discussing something else than God. They were discussing household things, as usually the village ladies they do. And he never liked it. When you are going to God, you must discuss about God only, so that your mind is one-pointed. So he was thinking in that way. When he went over going, suddenly he was meditating on Goddess Durga, and that was the first time he realized and experienced the samadhi. His mind merged with the Goddess. He fell down. Others, they were thinking what to do. They were sprinkling water on his face and they were fanning. Some were afraid. Then suddenly one elderly lady remembered something and started singing the name of God. He again got up. He got back his consciousness. So sometime man, sometime God, that is Sri Ramakrishna. Just human suddenly, and that was impossible for the ordinary people to gaze, to understand whether he is a man or a God. Those who have studied the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you know, he practiced long 12 years, very austere spiritual austerities and varieties of austerities. All the different paths of the Hindus, and then the Vaishnava, Tantra, and also the Vedanta. And in the Tantra, there are also different schools, all the 64 paths that he practiced. Unthinkable. Nowadays, as something is going on in all over the way, they are telling Hindus are cannibals, they eat the flesh. Now, there is always something or other they will be complaining, but it is not like that. There's the Aghoris, it's one branch of the sadhanas, the Aghoris, those who practice that, they go beyond all fear and the choices. Nothing, each and everything that you see is nothing but the God, manifestation of the God. There's not only philosophy, they practice like that. They live sometimes in the cremation ground. They sometimes sit on the dead bodies. And sometimes they will be drinking water from the skull. In the villages, all this, the dead bodies are there from the skull, they will be. So for them, that is a practice of spirituality. It is not Hinduism. The small branch that they practice, but the philosophy is very high. There is no differences without knowing it. Just because they go and they see like that, and immediately they took the photograph, and then the people they're sitting like that, and now they are everywhere they are advertising Hindus are cannibals. So this way always it goes without understanding the truth. They say this is the Sri Ramakrishna practice that too. That is really the excellent way of practicing. Unless and until, actually just a second. If you move it little that side, the balance will be there. Little more. Now it will be all right. Unless and until you know the truth, that is not possible. So Sri Ramakrishna practiced that too. All the very difficult practices of the tantras, and also Islam, Christianity, everything he practiced. After the 12 years of his all practices, and each and every time he got that truth. After the 12 years of practices, he was sitting in a room and he was thinking, now that I know that God can be approached and realized through any path. Now what I am going to do, I have completed my sadhanas. Now let me give up the body and go back. Because this body is binding my mind and soul in this world, so let me go back to. So when he was sitting, suddenly he saw that particular room is in the Dakshineshwar. From the floor, that floor is of cement floor, the red cement, and suddenly found that a white smoke is coming up from there. He was wondering where from the smoke is coming and what is this? The smoke came, and inside the smoke he saw a face of a rishi. A beautiful face, and that rishi told, you must live in Bhavamukha. Bhavamukha means you must live in the threshold. The door is there. You are standing on the threshold, so you can see the outside, you can see the inside. Like that you must live. So the half man, half God. Anytime you can go to God, anytime you can come out and mix in the society like an ordinary person. All through the life we find the man and God. That is unique. The people used to wonder, sometimes he'll be talking with the younger generation, making fun and making jokes, and think, oh, this is Ramakrishna. They told that he's a great sage, great saint. He don't talk about God, he's talking about something else. But suddenly he is in Samadhi. So that was an impossible thing to conceive. So people used to wonder. Now in the villages they used to think that he went along with the Vaishnavas. Though he was a Shakta, he used to worship the goddess Kali. And then he was a Vedantin too. But he used to go dancing and singing the kirtan with the Vaishnavas. And when he used to go and doing that, he used to dance in such a way with so much vigor, the people used to wonder where from he got so much of energy. And suddenly, just like the statue, he used to pass in the deep meditation, Samadhi. For the ordinary people, there is the sign of death. Even the doctors, they came because they never believed that it is possible in the human life. So they came and put the finger on the eyeball. It is so sensitive, if you bring the finger on the eye, near the eyeball, immediately, automatically you will blink to protect. He didn't do anything. and they were testing. There's no breathing. There is no sign of life in the whole body, but the body was there, not for a second or two, for a long time. Then again he came back as if from a deep slumber, and he used to say, I like to drink water, I like to meet him, I like to go there, I like to do these. To bring down the mind, he used to have some desire. The desire hold the mind. Can you understand, can you fathom this man? As we were discussing at the time of lunch, they say the Vaishnavas, and they say, who is God? Who knows the past, present and the future of every being? That person who knows the past, present and future of every being is considered as God. From the Vedantic point of view, Swami Vivekananda said, unselfishness is God. And this is the Vaishnava, that is the personal God. The personal God means that capacity to understand the past, present and future. When you look at the life of Sri Krishna, who is also considered as an avatar, incarnation of God, Krishna knew the past, present and the future, everything. Those who have read the Mahabharata, you know, Krishna knew everyone and what is going to happen afterwards. Sri Ramakrishna also. Whoever came near him, he could tell their past, present and future. And sometimes when people used to wonder, used to say, I can see the things in the mind of a person as you see the things kept inside the glass almirah. It's so easy. So that was the God and the man. His mother, when he was a small baby, left him on the bed. And when she came back, she saw there's a huge person sitting like this, resting his head on his arm. And she started crying. In my room, who is there? It was the Vishnu himself. The baby transformed into the Vishnu. And again, when other people came, the mother also entered, the small little baby. So this way, always he used to play between these two personalities, the human and the God. The Sri Ramakrishna, the man and the God. The Sri Ramakrishna was very, very human. When his mother was thinking that he should marry because he was practicing the austerity so much, naturally the mother, his father passed away when he was only 7 or 8 years old. His mother was concerned, my son not doing any work, usually priestly work he should do, doing the puja in different houses and getting the donation from the householders, then marrying, maintaining the family. This is a normal life of a priest. His mother told that you must learn this puja, the ritualistic work. Oh yes. He was very eager to learn, and he was learning from his elder brother. But when he said that go and perform the puja and earn something, he said, no, that I don't never do. But I do the puja for the love of God, but I never can sell it. I cannot use it for commercial purpose. I can never. If you remember the words of Jesus Christ when Jesus was visiting a tabernacle, a place of worship of the Jews, he found that the priests, they are selling religion. If you give me this much money, you will go to heaven, this thing, that thing. So many things, it happens always everywhere. And Jesus, he took up a stick and chased them, shouting, don't make my Father's house a business place. So that is the business. Religion cannot be a business. If you can't donate because the holy people, they are not working, so to survive it's okay. Sometimes this type of ashramas that we maintain, Many people, they come, they stay, they take food, and the Swamis are coming and going, their expenditure, maintaining these buildings. So naturally it's an expenditure. People, they come and they donate. That is a separate thing. But only doing that for the purpose of my livelihood, that he refused. I will never do that, though I am a Brahmin. As a man, he is always obeying his mother and also his elder brother. But at the same time, something was there that refused to obey the wishes of the mother and the elder brother. No, I cannot sell a religion. That is not possible. And when he used to, just a young boy, he used to play in the villages. Only thing that he used to play in the role of God or goddesses, he used to have that type of. All the conversations he memorized and he used to play like that. He used to teach his friends also. The people used to wonder where from he got so much of memory and where from he learned. One day in the village, in those days as I was telling, the people used to feel that they're very happy and proud that none of from our family, any girl or lady went out of the house, and they used to keep a separate apartment of the ladies only, and no one has seen. Then the landlord, he was boasting to his friends when they were chatting, even the son perhaps has not seen the ladies of my family. This boy, he was present, and always curious, he wants to know what is going on. So he used to go and sit and observe how the elders are discussing and what things are going on. Immediately he said, but I can come and talk to the ladies inside the house. Though he was only 8 years old, but in those days he was considered as a man. So he said, he cannot. We will never allow you. He said, okay. He took up the challenge. And the funny thing, it was evening. Suddenly a small girl came, covered with the shadi, wrapped with the shadi, and she came and told, I like to take shelter for this night. Without anything, that landlord told, go inside, because our ladies are there, you can go and stay there. The guest, there is no problem. He went and he disclosed, and all these ladies, they knew that is Gadai. And Gadai was wonderful, he could talk and he could sing. So the ladies were enjoying his discourses, and he was going on talking, singing, dancing and giving them all the joy. Suddenly he heard his elder brother calling him, Gadai, where are you? Because it was dark outside. He wanted to get the young brother. And he came out. Then he turned to that elderly, the landlord, and said, give education to your girls in your household, the ladies. Give education. Through education, they will be able to save themselves. Just by putting the curtains, you cannot save the ladies. Look at it, the wise words from the mouth of such a young boy, and that was a village boy. Where from it came? So always in his personality we find as a just ordinary human at the same time. He used to go in the midnight to meditate in the cemetery. And it was so terrible place. In the village cemetery is terrible places. His elder brother used to come in search of him. He used to call from the distance. He used to tell, don't come, there are so many ghosts that are here. They won't do any harm to me, but they may harm you. Don't come near it. How you explain? Where from this young boy used to get that type of courage. And not only that, we find a team of people came to enact the that's called the Jatra, as a Shiva. So they were thinking that they will do that. But the main hero, that Shiva, suddenly he fell sick. Then they were thinking what will happen to them, how to organize that program. The villagers suggested, why not Godai? He knows all this. Totally he remembered all the conversation. He'll be able to play in the role of the Shiva. So they approached Godai, he immediately agreed. Godai also dressed like a Shiva, and when he came on the dais, he didn't say anything. His mind was merged with that Shiva. And the Shiva conception, people, when they looked at that young boy, they saw that Shiva himself. They didn't see the play, they saw the real Shiva. So they transforming immediately, and afterwards we find again and again, almost in everything. Lastly, we found that in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, when his mother was thinking for the marriage, he agreed. And he told his mother, while he was searching for the girl for me, you better go to so-and-so village and to such house, you'll find a girl. That is for me. They found Saradamani Devi, and just normal behavior, he married, and not only that, he was also taking care of his wife. As a very responsible husband, he was taking care of the wife, and also teaching that young little girl how to behave with others. Mother was she was married when she was only 6 years old. So this Gadai, he was teaching that young wife to normal behavior. Sometimes he used to visit the in-laws' house. He used to behave as normally the people that do in the society. Everything was not. Suddenly in the night, the mother saw, all night he is sitting on the bed, meditating, and there is no sign of life. The poor little girl, she used to think, oh my God, what is this? Because there is no sign of life in the man, and sitting over there, just like an image. In the morning again, slowly he is coming back to the normal life. And when he used to talk, people used to wonder where from he got so much of knowledge. He went and met a very high learned person. He was not at all educated, but he wanted to meet the Keshav Chandra Sen, as I was telling, that he was so famous. Even the Queen Victoria invited him to dine with her. There was the respect for that time. He was so knowledgeable person. Sri Ramakrishna, when he came to know that he is in Calcutta in some house, he told, I like to meet. And Sri Ramakrishna's companion was his nephew. The nephew was wondering how to introduce this man, because he is not having any certificate, he is not having any social status, what to say? So anyway, he told, see, you should not say anything that is not, that from the village people are coming, and your dialect or the way you speak, that is not actually acceptable for the highly polished society in the Calcutta. So be very, very careful. He said, okay, I will behave properly. So this he went, and he was introducing him. This is my maternal uncle, Sri Ramakrishna. He is a priest in the Kali temple, and 24 hours he take the name of God. That was the only good thing that he could say about him, and there was no other credentials. Sri Ramakrishna came, he went into a different mode, again the spiritual mode, forgetting all surroundings. He looked at Keshav, saw his past and future, immediately said, oh Keshav, you have become in such a way, you have practiced the spirituality in such a way I appreciate you can live in the household and you can become a monk too. And he was wondering. He saw him. When people used to meditate, he used to go and look at them and to say, his mind now is reaching towards God. It will take for him a long time. His mind is not steady. Wherefrom he could say, one day so happened, he used to sing the songs in a beautiful way. He had a very melodious voice. The owner of the Kali temple, the lady, and she was a very, very powerful lady in that society, Rani Rashmani. She came and told, can you please sing a few songs for me while I am sitting at the temple, the Kali temple? He agreed, okay. Rani was sitting, closing her eyes, as if listening to the holy song, the devotional song. Sri Ramakrishna was singing. Suddenly, he gave a slap on the face of the queen, that Rani. Can you imagine? In those days, there was no rule or law that the police will come and nothing. Those people were having so powerful, they used to have their own, the mercenaries and the guards. They will go and kill you like that. How he dared to touch the person of the queen, the Rani Rashmani? Sri Ramakrishna without hesitation gave a slap and he was rebuking her. Sitting at the feet of the mother, you are thinking about your litigation? Rani was thinking, apparently listening to the song, she was thinking about some litigation was going on, what is going to happen after that. Normal. Sri Ramakrishna, how could he read the mind of the Rani? Rani was taken aback and she accepted him as a very highly spiritual person. When others were protesting, Rani immediately don't know. Now he is a very high spiritual person. The moment he touched me, all my mind has become, though he slapped, but his touch, very touch, has transformed my mind. The man and God, but it was so very difficult for the ordinary people to understand that. Most of the people who used to come, they used to think that he is a mad person. He used to behave like that. In the Bhagavad Gita, we find Sri Krishna is telling, Janma karma chame divyam. Evam yo vetti tattataha. Taktva deham punar janma naiti mameti so Arjuna. O Arjuna, if one can understand my life and my work as divine, janma, karma, cha, life and the work, cha means and, divya, divine, whatever I am doing, it is all divine. Then that person after death will come to me and merge in me, the God. He will have no other birth. He'll be free from the clutches, from the bondage of the circle of birth and death. But it is so difficult to understand the avatar because they are so very normal. Sri Ramakrishna, God himself, used to go to different houses, used to meet with people, talk to them. Now we know that he is a great Lord. Because Swami Vivekananda, Saradamani Devi and other direct disciples, they told, then slowly we understand, oh yes. Now but when the man was there, the contemporary people, they never could gaze, they never could imagine that it is possible. But those few were there who were blessed, they understood it. Like Rani Rashmani. And his son-in-law, Mathuranath Vishwas. Mathuranath was the landlord, naturally. He was like that type. One day he was thinking, we are paying so much of money for this man and caring for him. But he looks so ordinary. Nothing special in him. he stammers a little, and the words and the language that he uses, that is also not very, like a educated person. He speaks in the tongue of the villagers. Can he really be a spiritual man? He never reads any books. Is he really a spiritual man? He was doubting. When he was sitting exactly opposite another building, there is a passage was there, open passage. Sri Ramakrishna was walking up and down, and Mathur was looking at him, and he was thinking. He was thinking. He didn't say anything to him. He didn't disclose it to anybody. Suddenly he saw Sri Ramakrishna going in one direction, just as a Shiva. He was not an ordinary man. And when he is turning back, Goddess Kali. And Mathur, we can imagine the condition. He became so much afraid, he went and fell at his feet and started crying. Oh, my father, please forgive me. I doubted your spirituality. I doubted your divinity. Please forgive me. Sri Ramakrishna, just like an ordinary person, as if nothing has happened, he was explaining, what has happened to you? Why you are crying like this? I am just walking a little up and down. And Mathurnath Vishar, he saw in the same person, Shiva and Kali. Mathurnath was a devotee of Shiva and Kali. The Kali temple was their temple, they constructed, and he showed them that he himself is the Shiva and Kali. One lady came to Sri Ramakrishna. When she was married, immediately her husband passed away, and she was only hardly 6 years old. In those days, the people used to get early marriage. Her husband passed away. What to do? The widow, the poor little girl never knew what is husband, what is family, what is all this, but people said you are a widow, not you have to live like that. But she had a heart, and she always used to feel that I should have a child, and I must feed the baby, I must also play with him, and all. There's always the mother, they always long for that. And she started worshipping the baby Krishna, Bala Krishna. So she used to worship long years. She used to live in a corner of the room, and a little away from the Dakshinesha, and she used to live over there, cooking only for one time, eating little food after offering to God. That was her regular practices. It continued for a long time. Nothing happened. Krishna never came as her son, and she could never see anything that miraculous, divine, nothing. One day she heard that there is a very holy person, and he speaks wonderfully about religion, Sri Ramakrishna. So she felt, it is not very far, I can walk up to that. One day she started walking, but one should not go to see a holy man, a religious man, empty-handed. You must carry some fruits, or some donation, or some cooked food. That is the custom in our country. So she cooked and prepared a small, some curry, and she was carrying that for the holy man. Because she was not having money, so that much she could do. When she came, she saw in the room all very big people, they are sitting of the society. Someone is that advocate, someone is a professor, someone these. So they are all sitting inside the room, and Sri Ramakrishna sitting on a small couch talking with them. She was afraid to offer the small food to him. So she was standing near the door and looking at him. The moment Sri Ramakrishna looked at her, saw immediately, he stopped talking with others and started telling her, what you have cooked for me, bring it. I want to eat right now, bring it. And She was thinking, how could she, he knew that I have cooked, first thing. And how can I offer this humble thing before so many other people? She was feeling ashamed. But Sri Ramakrishna only, like a small boy, he was going on pestering, give me the food, give me that food, what you have brought for me, that's for me, I must eat. So ultimately she was compelled to take that food, and Sri Ramakrishna, who was a very poor eater, he used to take very little food, that the whole thing at a time he ate, and then he appreciated and told that you must mix this type of things that the taste will come, and not, he never talked about God, and he told, can you prepare this type of food? So next time when you come, prepare this food and bring for me. When she was coming back, she was telling, my God, why I came over here walking so all the way. What a holy man, always talking about food. And nothing else. He never talked about the Krishna, he never talked about anything spiritual, only food. So she was not very much impressed. She came back, and then after taking the shower, she sat for her evening prayer. The moment she closed her eyes, she found baby Krishna is playing all around her in that room. A very naughty boy, touching this, eating this, and the careful mother, she got up from the seat of meditation. She forgot that it is Krishna, the God. To see that Krishna form, she is practicing for last 60 years. She started chasing the boy, holding him tight like the mothers did do, and then started teaching him that you should not eat it because I am supposed to offer it to God. The God himself was playing with her. And then she told that boy that please be quiet, sit by my side, let me finish my prayer, evening prayer. I couldn't finish. And when she was sitting and doing the japa, that little boy, he was hanging at the back, and her the hands, she could feel arounded the neck like this. She was in great joy, full of divine experience. Her meditation was so deep. Next day, she felt, I must show this, my son, the Krishna, to this holy man. Then he will understand what is holiness. She was very proud. And she wanted to show her son, the baby Krishna, to Sri Ramakrishna. She started walking. It was early morning. Around people was thinking, what has happened to this lady? Why she is walking like that? Because her clothes are not properly kept, and she was carrying as if a heavy load on her hand. No one could see the Krishna. Only she could feel that baby is on her hand, and keeping the head on her shoulder, he is sleeping. Sometimes she was patting and she was going. Others couldn't understand. So they are thinking, oh my God, she has lost her mental balance or what? Where she is going? And she came to Sri Ramakrishna's room. Sri Ramakrishna was quietly sitting, there was no one. The moment she reached over there, entered through the door, immediately that Balakrishna got down from her lap, ran and mixed in the person of Sri Ramakrishna, the man and God. The Sri Ramakrishna was that Gopala. Gopala is another name of Sri Krishna. From then onwards, this lady used to call Sri Ramakrishna as Gopala. And devotees afterwards, they used to address that lady Gopalir Ma, the mother of Gopala. Tavarmani Devi, she became the Gopala, and Gopala was Sri Ramakrishna. And afterwards, she used to consider Ma Sharadamani Devi as her daughter-in-law, because her son is Gopala, Sri Krishna, his wife, the daughter-in-law. So that became the relation in a wonderful way. everything used to go, and Sri Ramakrishna was like that. Sometimes man, sometimes just God. He used to go to the Vaishnavas' houses, and they also used to feel like that. I will conclude. There was an incident that happened that was the last time in his life. Two incidents happened. I think many of you were closely associated with this organization, you must know. Sri Ramakrishna was lying down, and it was almost the last days of his life. He was not having any strength in his body even to turn to this side and that side. That was the condition. Devotees used to change him. They used to take care, so much care. Like that he was lying down. Ma Sharadamani Devi was also staying just below room under that staircase, like that room. She was a small room is there, she used to leave. One day she observed Sri Ramakrishna coming down from the stairs, the man whom people used to help to turn. He is not only not got up, he was coming down from the stair. And if you go in the olden days, stair means always very, very high. I don't know why. So they used to save time perhaps. So very high steps, it needs the strength to go up. So from there he is coming down and running, crossing the whole field, the big field. And again came back. And again went and slept on lie down on the bed. Mother could not believe her eyes, so she came to the Sri Ramakrishna and told, "Is it you?" Sri Ramakrishna, "You have noticed?" Sri Ramakrishna told, "Don't tell it anybody." All these young devotees, the Narayan and others, they were hardly 17, 18 years, young people. They are planning that they will go to that particular dead tree to get the juice of the dead tree in the night. But there is a cobra, very poisonous. I went and drove out that cobra. So they are safe now. Let them go and enjoy. How you will explain? The man and God, so much so, that it's really very difficult to understand. And this man, he wants the care of the doctors and others. At the same time, the same person is getting up and saving the disciples. That particular dead tree, they have preserved. It died, and afterwards they gave the medicine and some applied something. That is kept inside the Ashrama. Anyone goes, you can see that happened. Sri Ramakrishna, on the 1st January, he came down. It was 1886, 1st January. He passed away in the August, 16th August. This January, 1886, and he was taking a walk. Devotees were so happy. After a long illness, perhaps the master is again back to the normal condition. They all came and they were offering their pranam. They were sitting in different places. The Sri Ramakrishna asked the Girish Chandra Ghosh, "Girish, you always go and argue with others that I am God. What you have seen in me that you go and preach in that way?" Girish immediately said, as he was a composer, he knew how to put the words. He said, "How can I express about you? Even in the Ramayana and in the Mahabharata, those great sages could not express about you. I'm a very ordinary man. How can I say about you? You are God yourself. How can I say or express in words the greatness of God?" The moment he said with great emotion, Sri Ramakrishna went into deep samadhi. And when he was standing like that, people naturally, as is the system in India, they bowed down at his feet and was touching the feet. The moment they were touching the holy person of Sri Ramakrishna, all their wishes were fulfilled. Whatever Whatever one person he was thinking, when I meditate, I never could concentrate, I never could see the image of my chosen deity inside my heart. He started seeing the deity. And the great joy of realizing that, he started jumping. All others also started, because it's a great joy. How to express? They started shouting and jumping, some were running here and there. Girish Chandra Ghosh, he was calling each and everyone, unknown people who were passerby, come and touch the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. He has become the Kalpataru. That is, the tree, wish-fulfilling tree. Whoever will come and Sri Ramakrishna, he told to Ma Saradamani Devi, before my passing away, I will break this man image and I will manifest in the image of God. He did that. And not only one person, so many people, they experienced whatever was there hidden in their mind, every hidden desires were fulfilled. Someone was desirous of becoming a very rich person, he became very rich. Everything happened. So Sri Ramakrishna, the man and God. Only thing, we should have the faith to understand this. When the Ma Saradamani Devi discloses about Sri Ramakrishna that he is nothing but the God, though apparently his all behavior is like the ordinary human being. Swami Vivekananda said he is nothing but the Brahman, all pervading Brahman has taken this human form for the benefit of human being. What is that benefit? To make people aware about their divine nature and to help them to manifest. So that is Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna, the man and God. Thank you. Another 2-3 minutes. Any question?
So when Ramakrishna died, when Ramakrishna's father died, when Ramakrishna's father died, how did his mother financially look after family?
When his father actually he was driven out of his property, that he was coming out with his wife and children and the family deity, they used to worship regularly. So when they came out of that particular area of that landlord, another landlord's place, he was waiting for him. So this is the God, no? The God gave that thought into the mind of this person. With great respect he said, "Sir, you are a holy man. And if a holy man is living in our village, that's good for all of us. So please stay with us. I will give you." So he donated a small plot of land for his making the house and another plot of land that's called Lakshmi Jala. There's a plot to grow the paddies. Sri Ramakrishna's father, he was not a farmer, he was not having any plow or anything. So he used to go and in the name of God, he used to throw all these paddies over that, and the production used to be very heavy. Villagers used to cut and then dry and make that rice and used to give to him. That was sufficient. So his mother, Sri Ramakrishna's mother, got that. In the meantime, his elder brothers, they grew up and they started earning by priestly that way also. So they were all right. Not very rich, but they were not at all poor. That was sufficient. It's a good question. Very good question. Look, sometimes the people and in the book they always praise the Sri Ramakrishna's father, Khudiram Chattopadhyay. But the mother, Chandramani Devi, they never say, suppose the mother opposed the decision of the father, Khudiram Chattopadhyay. If you say only one lie, what is going to happen? And we can save my family. I cannot come out with you on the street with all these children just because you are going to keep your religion. No, it is not possible. I am not with you. Go and tell the lie. If she forced him, maybe the history would have been totally different. But she gave, and that's called Dharma Patni, always supporting the Dharma, the religion of the husband. Dharma Patni. Whatever the good work that the husband is doing, wife is always supporting that, always by the side, in whatever condition. So that is called Dharma Patni. She supported. Okay then. So let us again chant the Shanti 3 times. Please repeat after me. Om Shanti. Shanti, 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 Hari Om.